Right, let's sort this out. Marble Arch, Park Lane, Oxford Street, Oxford Circus, more of Oxford Street, can't remember. Regent Street does that, and can't remember, but Piccadilly and Piccadilly Circus. Tottenham Court Road, Charing Cross Road, can't remember. Foyle's Bookshop. The BBC. How do you get from Foyle's Bookshop to the BBC? You might be wondering what all that was about. Well, let me try and explain. The government are now 6 months into their national curriculum review, and we get to hear a report on their progress in the spring of 2012. It's happening in two phases. The first phase, English, Maths, Science and PE, and they're well on their way now, and we get a publication in spring which we can consult on. Looking forward to that. The second phase is for a decision on what goes into the national curriculum, what subjects should be included, and also what needs to be changed and what needs to be added to those subjects. And that's, a lot of people getting very worked up about that. And that's for a consultation in the year 2013, so still some way off. But it's not the bit that's not that worries me. I'm sure that you, as subject specialists, may well be nervous about that and have strong views. What this is about, really, is some of the words that are being used. And I want to quote to you from the remit letter that went to the advisory panel. It says, point 2 of that remit letter about the National Curriculum Review, it says, develop a national curriculum that acts as a benchmark for all schools and provides young people with the knowledge they need to move confidently and successfully through their education. It's just that one word, knowledge. And I'm a bit worried by that. Now, I'm not worried by the process and worried by the people. In fact, I've got quite a lot of faith in Tim Oates, who's the chair of the expert panel. He used to be in an awarding body. He knows what education is. And I'm sure the 3 professors that are working with him aren't stupid either. But I'm quite angry and concerned about the word knowledge used in context of that letter, because it does sound a little like Thomas Gradgrind to me. Thomas Gradgrind is that character from Dickens. And in fact, I've got the Gradgrind quote for you here. This is the Thomas Gradgrind quote from Hard Times. Now, what I want is facts. Teach these boys and girls nothing but facts. Facts alone are wanted in life. Plant nothing else and root out everything else. You can only form the minds of reasoning animals upon facts. Nothing else will ever be of any service to them. This is the principle by which I bring up my own children, and this is the principle on which I bring up these children. Stick to the facts, sir! From Hard Times, 1854. That was the view in 1854 that Charles Dickens felt was so wrong. And I've got a horrible feeling that this is a bit Gradgrindian about the word knowledge. So that's what I want to talk about today, really. So let's go over and have a look at what that map is all about, and about why I'm nervous about what is said in the use of that word knowledge. So here we are, looking at a map pinned to the window of my hotel room in Liverpool. I'm sure you think this is top quality education for you. So this is actually an example of what? My general knowledge. I have lived in London, I do know my way about it a bit. In fact, I can walk around London really quite confidently. I know how to get from Foyles to the BBC. I could walk it with my eyes closed. I don't know the name of the streets though. It's all a bit unconnected. That's because I don't have the knowledge. Now, it's something I've tried to pick deliberately, because there is this thing called the knowledge that the London taxi cab drivers have to sit. It's an excellent qualification. It takes 2 to 4 years to get the knowledge, and it involves knowing 3 things. The first thing, which we traditionally think of the knowledge, is the name of all these streets. Now, I got most of them, didn't I? I got Marble Arch, I got Park Lane, I got Oxford Street, I got Regent Street, I got Piccadilly. I couldn't remember what happened with Charing Cross Road and how that joined in. There's Trafalgar Square somewhere in there. I know that that's somewhere in there, but I can't quite figure out how that is. Shaftesbury Avenue's got something to do with this. I can't remember that name. Is that Cambridge Circus? And I know that Oxford Street continues on into New Oxford Street, but that's pretty much about the names of the streets. I don't know the names of the streets. And that's the first bit of the knowledge that you have to do. Learn the name of those streets. Now, the knowledge is excellent. It does get you a huge amount of facts into your brain, but it's actually pretty useless to have all of those streets in there, because it doesn't tell you how to get from Foyles to the BBC. Can you drive up Charing Cross Road, turn left onto Oxford Street, and turn right at Regent Street and drop off at the BBC? Is that actually possible? For example, is this a one-way street? As you come out of Foyles bookshop, you're faced with 2 lanes of traffic. I know you are, I can remember it. But can you drive up it? Are you actually allowed to drive a car up Charing Cross Road? Or is it bus lane only, or taxis only? What is the actual rules about getting up and down Charing Cross Road? And if you can't turn left on Charing Cross Road in a car, how do you get through Regent Street and all this malarkey down here, which I can't remember, to get to the BBC? Knowing how you do all of that is understanding. So you know the names of the streets, but you also understand how they connect and how they intertwine and how they all work together. You would be able to plot a route from Foyles bookshop to the BBC, and you would be able to avoid all of the other stuff that also comes along with that understanding. For example, at what time of day are you travelling, and where is all the congestion? And also, is there any roadworks? Because you and I know that at the moment they are building the big massive Crossrail station here, and this road is completely blocked off. You can't turn left. There is no access from Charing Cross Road into Tottenham Court Road at all at the moment. The only thing you can do is go straight across there or up. So there you go. There's a bit of up to the minute cutting bit of knowledge and understanding for you. So that's knowledge and understanding. They fit together and make a lot of sense, don't they? They get the name of the street sorted out, that's the facts and figures, then put the understanding into it, that's how they all connect and how they work together. And there's an extra bit in there which is not just about that, it's about currency. And that understanding is cutting edge, it's up to date, it's absolutely now knowledge. That hole in the road, which is going to be the Crossrail station at Tottenham Court Road, certainly wasn't there a few months ago when I was last in London, but I was there a couple of weeks ago and it was definitely there then, and it nearly ruined my journey. So that's up-to-date, current information, and I had no idea when that's going to be finished and when that's going to be back on the possibilities. So, knowledge and skills. Wrong. Knowledge and understanding. The bit that's missing is the skills. Now, what is the skills? Well, actually, rather crucially for a taxi driver, it's driving a cab. Now, in terms of having a job, you might be able to use the knowledge and you might be able to use the understanding, but actually if you want to be a taxi driver, you crucially need to have those skills as well. How do you drive a cab legally, safely, and what are the rules and regulations, and can you do it? And those 3 things go together to make the perfect taxi driver, and actually a really solid foundation and a really great qualification that really delivers what it's meant to deliver. Knowledge, skills and understanding, absolutely key to being a great taxi driver. So Thomas Gradgrind got it wrong in 1854. Dickens pointed out that actually just having the facts or the knowledge was pretty pointless as an education. And you do need to have a little bit more than just a general knowledge. General knowledge is a knowledge which is unconnected. So my general knowledge, for example, of football is not connected. I couldn't tell you the history of the club or turn it into any form of useful knowledge. But the football that I'm interested in is just general knowledge. I know nothing about it and couldn't coach a team or train a team and get the best out of players and all that kind of stuff. All I can do is swear at them just like everybody else. That's general knowledge. And it's I only have a general knowledge of thought. I only have a general knowledge of science and so on and so forth. And just facts isn't really a useful kind of thing to embody our youngsters with. We need a little bit more. In fact, we need other things as well. What this doesn't discuss is the words like autonomy. At the moment, we haven't quite figured out how we do that. But if you're into Ken Robinson, and who does all those wonderful creativity and education kind of talks, he's very clear on things like autonomy, that learners really should be let free to go on and learn stuff. Autonomy is a really great, powerful thing in terms of motivation as well. Maybe some more on that later on. But, at the moment, we need KSU, and we also need a really good, mature debate about some of the other stuff, such as autonomy, teamwork, personal learning and thinking skills, wider skills, and all the other stuff that makes a great education as well. The knowledge on its own is not enough.